This is Paddock 43, the podcast, your weekly rundown giving you all things F1 from both on and off the track.
From races, trades, rumours, the lifestyle, and all the things that come with the F1 world.
We are Amy, Elle, and Pat. Let's get into it.
Welcome back.
Were you expecting to hear that voice?
It's me. Does it sound good in like a professional microphone?
It's a lot better.
It's a lot better
in my ears. And there's no lag.
There's no lag. We didn't have to spend half an hour trying to set up. Thank you, Seb, as well, trying to figure out the microphone works. The microphone does not work. This headphone, the AirPods are better.
But you're back. That's all
It's
I care
just
about.
me.
And you're looking at me from across the table.
We're
Amy's
missing
not
someone.
here. Yeah. Amy, your seat. I'm actually sitting in Amy's seat today and I feel like I'm like stepping on territory I should not be in.
Yeah. Well,
But-
my bag is in your seat and I'm in my seat.
I'll be back there next week.
Yeah. I'll just pat your invisible head over here, but we're back.
So jet lag?
Yeah, so I should start with, I apologize in advance to everyone listening. I flew in this morning and I'm here. And
It's a solid effort. Like I fully respect that. If this was me, no way. No.
yeah, I missed everyone too much. No, it's good. No, I wanted to get back in, but yeah, I'm a bit tired. I feel a little bit dusty, just a bit not 100% there, but we'll see how we go today.
And how was it watching like all the Grand Prix over there on real time? Obviously, you would have felt a million times better not staying up, getting up.
I thought it would be better than I expected, as in typically it's great to watch them in real time. I just think that because we were on our wedding/honeymoon and we were in places that weren't super.
Oh, yeah, you're doing things. I
You're
didn't
doing
even think about
things.
that.
Yeah. So it kind of felt a
Yeah.
bit like, and also I was just getting a bit frustrated because, you know, we wanted to make the most of our days. And so I'd installed a VPN, and I don't know if I can actually say this, but I tried to use my KO with the VPN and it just would lag, and it's just like very frustrating not watching. Wow, I sound so bratty right now. First world problems, but the lag is really frustrating.
Don't worry, I had that first world problems a few weeks ago. I can't remember who I told, except I was at the footy.
Yeah.
At Carlton Collingwood, I want to say. Yeah, I think it was. No, Carlton Melbourne, sorry. I was at the footy. I was at Carlton Melbourne, and it was like one of the hottest AFL tickets that week.
Pre-grand final.
Pre-grand final, yes. And I couldn't get onto KO. It
Oh.
wasn't working.
Oh, there was a day that KO crashed, actually. Yes.
It was that day. It crashed.
Oh.
And I was like, everyone's trying to get onto KO to watch the footy, and I'm at the footy trying to watch
The Grand
the
Prix.
Grand Prix. I just sound like an absolute brat. And it was
No.
practice as well. So
Oh,
I was
it's
like-
I know, it's so frustrating. You're like, and it's just, you know, it's not in full HD. But look, it was good. It was obviously much better being in that time zone than being here. I'm just bummed that I was over there during Japan.
Oh,
Like-
Japan was fun. We had a lot of fun. We missed you. But Las Vegas is on our time.
Yes.
So we'll be
yes,
back.
Yes.
We'll
Very
be
exciting.
back for that one.
We'll
We
be
might
back.
actually have something in store for that.
We do. We have
Watch
something
this space.
lined up.
Actually, watch if you guys are interested to know what might be happening. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, because if all goes to plan, that's where we will drop the news
Yes, on Instagram.
on Instagram
If all goes to
specifically.
plan.
If
Yeah.
all goes to plan.
Specifically. Feels good to be back. Yeah.
Back in the desert this week,
Back in the desert this week.
not the Australian desert. Just to
No.
clarify that.
the Qatari desert,
Is that what you said? Qatari,
I think.
or you just? Is it?
Qatar desert.
I think
The
Qat-
desert.
Qatar.
The Qatar desert.
We could go on about this for ages, but
Yeah.
I think it's
We'll be in the desert this week. Thankfully as well, there was no race last week because I was also in basically a remote desert. No, I was in a remote town in Italy and I would have struggled to watch. So it's nice that I'll be back.
I know, and we've got a sprint this weekend as
We have
well.
a sprint.
Action packed.
Action packed. Being jet lagged might help actually.
It will, because it's god awful times here in Australia. The race for us is 4 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time Monday morning, and I know I do get the only benefit is for me,
Yeah.
because I get up that early
Yeah.
to watch the recap of the race.
That's
Anyway, so I'm okay.
And
But
then I
there's
just
no
try.
There's no other benefit in whatsoever Thank God for a quiet weekend. I can see I'm looking at Pat right now and
Sorry.
she's like trying to yawn.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the jet lag.
I've also inhaled like 2 kilos of sugar, so hopefully that keeps me going. I'm gonna be like
She's going to be buzzing
short-circuiting.
in a second. So am I. I did need the sugar, but I just took it anyways.
Shall we get into some news?
Yes.
Shall we get into some news?
What do you want to touch on first? It hasn't been the most exciting news cycle, but there are some little key things that we need to
Yes.
touch on.
Well, there's some key things. There's some little whispers as well. I feel like there has been a lot of talk about AlphaTauri as a whole and just not rumblings because everything is set in stone, but people sort of throwing their opinions about, I'm hearing this name a lot. I'm hearing Liam Lawson. I'm hearing his name a lot. People are frustrated that he didn't get a seat for next year. Then the potential of Checo being out. A lot of rumblings across the Red Bull family.
So I think it's actually smart.
You think it's smart?
I was against this. If you asked me like last week was when it all came out.
Yep.
I was like, don't know. I think Liam deserved it more than Yuki. I think it would have been a great pairing, Liam and Danny. But now thinking about it, I'm like, this is smart because Checo, I think, is definitely going to be out by summer break next year in Red Bull.
Mm-hmm.
That Red Bull seat's going to be open. I reckon they'll put Danny in it and then he'll retire at the end of next year. And and then Liam will step out to AlphaTauri and he'll get another half season in the AlphaTauri car. And that trains him up, more F1 races under his belt.
Yeah.
So he gets that practice as well and the car will improve. So they're going to have the improvement, a hell of improvements on the car next year in the AlphaTauri.
Yeah.
And then the rumours are that by 2025, he's guaranteed a seat in Red Bull.
Oh, that makes sense.
And I feel like then Danny would see a season out.
I'm just I can see that happening. I'm just concerned Danny as the second driver for Red Bull. I'm just worried that the same thing is going to happen that happened last time. Is this just history repeating itself?
Oh, possibly. But
Yeah.
I also think like they're going to obviously test that for the rest of the season. He's got so disappointing he's not back in Qatar this weekend. I really thought he was going to be.
Same.
Yeah, so disappointing that he is not back this weekend. So he's only got 5 races. If he is back for the next one, we don't know.
Yeah.
But, there's always a personality hire in every business, isn't there?
There is. It's just.
And I know there's one person at work right now listening and he's probably like, you're not the personality hire.
Yeah, no, he would be the personality. I guess Christian Horner and Danny's relationship, it's
beautiful.
It's beautiful. Does he just see him? Would he rather have someone in the seat that's way more marketable rather than potentially going to guarantee, even though Checo hasn't guaranteed, but potentially guarantee more wins?
But it might just be sacrifice
Yeah, that too.
just to get Checo out.
That too. And also it was
And give
interesting.
Danny a last little run.
Yeah, also interesting because I was listening, I can't remember what interview, but they were speaking about how I think there's about 35 points difference between Checo and Hamilton, which is nothing when you think about it.
No, it's
like
nothing.
there's a few.
It's funny when you say it in points, it seems like nothing, but then you think about their performances over the course of their season and you're like, really? Like
Yeah.
it seems so different.
I
But it's because
know.
you just remember Checo's crashes
Literally.
and all of that. And Lewis hasn't been on the podium
Exactly.
as much.
So
It's funny when
I
you think
actually, I'm intrigued to know what your thoughts are, but I personally think that Lewis will come second in the drivers. I think he will beat Checo. And then that's just, that's what I think. But,
I can say that. I think I agree with that one.
and that's going to give Red Bull another little kind of notch on their belt to sort of hold against him and be like, you've come third. I'm assuming this, but that's what I think. That is what I believe.
Expert Patricia
Patricia.
believes this and this is what is going to happen.
That's exactly what's going to happen. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
There's so much that could possibly happen. And as Amy pointed out in our last week's episode, that something like 90% of the grid is up for contract next year. So There's going to be lots of switches, so I could be completely wrong that Checo he stays.
No, I think I
and
like
something goes on.
I like your train of thought. But another thing as well was AlphaTauri. I think Liam as well. Mind you, he did incredible, but I think he was a bit lucky because they did a lot of changes, made a lot of changes to their car right as Liam jumped in.
Yeah, yes, but also to be able to adapt that quickly into those changes, and even, I mean. Carlos was a little bit of a dick about Liam Lawson in those pre-race interviews. I was like, come on. But
how's the beef?
I know. Charles was really, he was like, a lot of us have spoken to him being like, you're coming into Singapore. This is nuts.
Yeah.
It's one of the hardest races of the season. And for him to pull that out.
Was insane.
And then, back it up. And it's just, he's done really well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we can't.
So
yeah.
I'm excited that he's actually racing in Qatar this weekend.
I know.
Because I was like, I did say last episode, I was like, I just want to see him one more time.
One more time. It'll be a nice little notch on his belt
to
hopefully give Alpha some points.
Definitely. One thing that I want to touch on is Jessica Hawkins.
Incredible.
Absolutely incredible. So first woman to test drive an F1 car since 2018 in the
Hungaroring.
Did I say that right?
I think so.
Hungarian?
In Budapest. Hungaroring in Budapest.
Thank God you were back and you pronounced these words for us. I didn't even write it correctly in the notes because I didn't know how to write it. But yeah, amazing job.
Amazing.
26 laps. There was downpour. She had everything. I think by lap 3, they were saying that she had hit the test numbers that they were wanting and expected from her, which is phenomenal. Some really poor form from the rest of the internet on that though.
Yeah, there was a lot of backlash.
Oh, so much. But also this was that was Lance Stroll's old car.
Oh yeah.
And everyone was like giving her shit. But Lance didn't do any good times in it.
Literally.
I'm pretty sure they're on par.
I mean, and it's also one test.
But yeah.
It's also one test.
I don't know.
Heavy downpour.
Yeah. I think it's just a lot of the female backlash.
I just think as well, like the pressure that she has on her shoulders. Like she knows what she's doing for women in the sport. It's incredible. And
there's enough pressure as is, and then to put yourself behind the wheel of an F1 car going in those speeds.
And then people having something to say about it.
Well, now they're planning on more tests with her.
How good.
It did so well. So we'll just have to watch this space and see more.
Ooh. Time will tell.
Yeah, it's interesting to see this all evolve. She's 28 years old, so she is a lot more mature than a lot of these F1 boys are. I mean, Max just turned 26.
She's a woman, and women are always a little bit more mature.
Oh yeah. Imagine putting her up against someone like
Lando.
Lando. That'd be. I mean, he's always going to be like I think Peter Pan syndrome.
It'd be interesting to put her against like Yuki.
What, in like an F1 race, like head to head?
Yeah.
I'd love to see that.
Just because of like the errors that Yuki has committed recently.
Would you want to see that on like just two straights, like just going down like a highway or
like not like like a full racetrack. Because going down a straight is just like a drag race, and I guess it just comes down to how good the car is. But put them in the same car and put them on a track.
I want to see test against Yuki.
And
no, Logan.
Logan. Yeah.
Not Yuki. Logan. I think Logan's the one to test about. I mean, he's trying to obviously keep his seat back. But Williams is still talking really fondly of him. I don't think they're going to get rid of him. I think Amy's right.
Yeah.
She takes Logan under her wing. And
I think he needs to go.
I think he needs to go. But
Logan, you've been evicted from the island.
Oh. You won the Deconstructors Championship.
Yeah, you've won the Decon.
I think it's over 3.5 million now. That
Deconstructors, I just don't understand their logic. As in, it's fine that you want to develop a driver. It's fine that you want someone to win races. And understandably, if people aren't winning or bringing points, at least don't break the car.
It's so true. And I wish everyone could see Pat right now. She's so passionate.
I'm so passionate, and I feel like my brain is so slow at the moment. It's like trying to say the words, but they're not coming through my mouth. But Williams, what are you doing? Come on. Surely, like you're not getting any points. That's fine, but you're losing a lot of money. And is it really worth it? Probably not.
There's got to be some logic that they're thinking in the back end, and I want to be a fly on that wall.
Are they getting paid? Are they getting paid to have him? Like, is there something going on under the table that we don't know about?
Are they keeping him in the race? I don't know, to detect bad news from other situations?
Yeah, or do they want an American driver because of like the fanfare that comes in the US?
You know what?
Could be that.
That's actually a good theory.
Yeah. Especially maybe going into Las Vegas, he'll be like,
oh my God. His performance in Vegas is going to be, we've got Austin as well.
Yeah,
but
Austin.
Vegas is going to be the big one. Oh my, what if you're right?
yeah,
What if someone's paying that off?
potentially.
Is anyone else's like mind that's listening right now?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
It is America after all.
The meme with like the
Yeah.
graphs and the
all the math equations going around in my head.
Oh.
Well, speaking of Las Vegas,
Yeah.
La Sphere.
La-
Not La Sphere. I don't know why I said it like that one.
Are you jet lagged too?
It's been a long day.
Las Vegas. Lots of rumblings about Las Vegas.
Well, the Sphere is in action. I feel like its biggest impact, obviously we don't know because we're not there in person, but seeing it on social media, it looks pretty damn impressive.
Very impressive.
Was it needed? I don't know. But is it a cool attraction? Yes.
Well, I think it'll generate a lot of money that they've spent on repaving the roads. So
Well, I think they need all the money that they can get.
So they need all the money they can get.
They will utilize it for other things like
Yeah.
shows and concerts and all that sort of stuff.
It'll be interesting to see what they do, how they, what we see at the Sphere throughout the F1 weekend.
Was it something as well like the U2, I think, opened up the Sphere?
Yeah, it actually,
weekend.
U2 opened up the Sphere.
The Sphere.
The Sphere.
La Sphere. La Sphere. Anyway, we're still not going. No one has
Gosh, I just can't
bought
get
us
over
a
how
$5 million
much
ticket yet.
Yeah, just can't get over how much
Guys.
money Las Vegas, the city of Las Vegas, has spent the last couple of years.
I hope this goes well for them.
I
I
hope so
really
too.
do. But something else that I hope goes well for someone, Seb Vettel.
Yeah,
So for those that don't know, Seb might be Le Mans
I feel like this is
2024.
so him.
It's so him.
Like it's
And
his,
I love
yeah.
this. I love this idea.
Me too. It's him still having his mark in the racing world without fully having to be a part of, because Le
Commit.
Mans one weekend.
Mm.
So
You still have to train for it.
You
24
do.
hours.
But as in, I think his like biggest concern, I always come back when I think of Seb Vettel, I just think of his environmental concerns.
Mm.
And the biggest environmental concerns of F1 is that obviously they're traveling all over, the logistical issue, how much the carbon emissions that are transmitted,
Yep, that sounds right.
emitted.
Emitted.
Um,
Emitted is the word, not
Emitted.
transmitted.
the emissions that are emitted. And this is just one weekend, and I think it'll be a nice way for him to. Do we know who else he's driving with though?
No. So apparently there's other F1 winning drivers.
Oh my God, like an all-star team.
Yeah, so we'll just have to see who he's racing with. It's
I would
going to
love
be a
that.
battle, and I cannot wait to watch that. I can't wait to watch that, though, especially after the Gran Turismo movie that you and I saw. That's kind of like what's happening in my mind.
Yep.
Because that's why I want to. I'd actually like to go and watch it.
It would be
Yes.
interesting to be there.
Mm.
Obviously, not watch the whole race because you'd want to sleep for half of it.
I reckon just do it.
Just stay up for the 24 hours.
There'd be people that do.
Yeah, there would be people. I guess people are just high on life.
She says with her eyes wide open.
They are high on life. No, but gosh, I have so much respect for people that do Le Mans.
Mm.
It's just,
It's grueling.
it's grueling. It's a huge commitment, and oh gosh, I just can't even, like, when I don't sleep enough, I can't function as it's happening right now. So I just can't imagine having to drive a car and win a race.
Well, Daniel Ricciardo, he did a long drive recently.
He did.
He did.
He did a very, very, very long drive.
Not quite Le Mans driving, and he probably split it
No,
up
a bit
over
more-
a few
a bit-
weeks.
A bit rough.
Probably helicoptered to various places and met a
And-
car there
yeah.
as well. I suspect that would be a high situation.
He probably helicoptered, jumped on a 4x4. What are they called?
Quad bike.
Quad bike.
Someone just
Went up
lifted
and
him
back
there.
and up
Yeah.
and back, got the content, and then they kept going.
Yeah.
No, but if you haven't seen it, Daniel Ricciardo has actually partnered with Western Australia Tourism and has made an incredible ad.
Oh, it's an awesome ad. It's like a whole.
He's selling it to me.
He's selling it to me. I mean, granted, so they did a road trip from Perth up to Exmouth, and for any international listeners out there, definitely Google Exmouth right now. And in Australia, if you don't know what Exmouth is, also Google it.
Yeah.
It's actually one of my favourite places in Australia. I've
can
been
swim
there.
with whale sharks?
Yeah, whale sharks, deep water fishing, beautiful turquoise beach, turquoise beaches. Thank God Pat's back. And there's also, it's funny, like, you know, that's where the Niggler Reef is. So obviously you can swim with, like, you know, you step off the beach and there's literally turtles in the reef there and you can swim with them.
So beautiful.
Exmouth also has a lot of conspiracy theories about
Does it?
aliens.
Wait,
and
what? I
yes,
did not know this.
The US Navy has a base there. It's all very interesting. So I actually went to Exmouth again, would have been 3 years ago by myself because I love it so much. It's not easy to get to. So that drive would be incredible. So I'm very jealous.
How did you get there?
I flew there from Perth.
So there's a Perth to Exmouth flight.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not cheap. Like,
I can imagine. Traveling in Australia is very expensive.
I think if you want to go to Exmouth from Melbourne, you're probably looking at about $1,000 one way. And that's pretty much half the price of going to Europe economy.
Literally.
Yeah. It's not an easy place to get to.
No.
Yeah. Story time about Exmouth. I actually was doing the whale shark dive, missed out on seeing any whale sharks, and I was in a tiny, tiny little like Hyundai Swift.
Oh, gosh.
What was it? Something. I can't even remember what it was.
No, Suzuki Swift.
Suzuki Swift, not Hyundai. I was like, that doesn't sound right. As soon as I said that, it was tiny. It was a little 2-door thing. And I was driving back to the hotel in the Niggler Reef and a tornado came through.
Oh.
And I didn't realize, and I had no reception. My phone died. And it was like pitch
You're
black.
in like
and
a
I
little
was just
jelly
like,
bean car.
Yeah, I got back to the hotel and they're like, we were really worried about you, like the reception stuff. Anyway, fun times.
Fun times.
Good traveling by himself. But Daniel did it for me.
He's done an incredible job. And how good, we were talking about this before, like how good Western Australia Tourism partnering with him.
Oh, it's smart.
For those of you that don't know as well, Daniel is from Western Australia. So it just makes sense.
It's smart.
It's smart.
Very, very smart. Especially whilst people are talking about him with like, you know, he's got a lot of PR and news about him of saying that he's a hot contender to take Checo's seat.
Yes.
In
And also
summer next year.
he'll be back over the break. He'll be back home. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are thinking, I want to go and find him.
Oh.
So now
Very creepy people.
Yep. So they're now going to want to go and do a holiday and say, hey, if we bump into him, it's a bonus.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's definitely not creepy at all the way you sound. Shame Danny's not back this weekend. It was great to see him in that video, but
Leads us to this coming weekend. We may not see him
in the Western Australian desert.
Yeah, well, we may see him in the Western Australian desert, but we will not be seeing him in the Qatari desert.
No.
We're back in Qatar this weekend.
Woo. So obviously
Woo-hoo.
we missed last year.
Yes, there was no race last year.
FIFA World Cup took precedence.
They did take precedence.
Especially because, just for anyone asking, wondering, they might be new to the sport, 2021 was the first Qatar race.
Yes. Yeah, 2021 was the first race that actually replaced Australia. So when that whole mess happened, the debacle happened in Australia, they shuffled some things around and first race in Qatar.
Well, as Gunther said, felt like they were thrown in. They just turned up.
Yeah. Except they've had a lot of changes to the track now.
Yeah, the track was designed for motorbike racing.
Yeah.
That's something that Gunther said, was that like the garages were suited to motorbikes. It was so small. Oh, someone's message has just gone off. That's all right. Sorry, everyone. We're just letting you know that we're here still.
Yeah. It wasn't originally a MotoGP track. Apparently they've had some incredible upgrades. Apparently the hospitality area is one of the best across the season.
40,000 extra fans or something like that. Yeah.
And there are the most pit boxes in...
Yeah, 50.
50.
Is that weird?
I know. I was like, are they just
Who are they preparing for?
Yeah. I was like, are they going to maybe just extend them so they all have more space?
I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see.
Because do they have, unless they're trying to do something like have, I don't know, Formula 2 or Formula 3 or like V8 cars there or something like that. So then they've got their own pit boxes on the other side. So they've got that all weekend.
Maybe some shakes are going to have their little setup.
On the grid.
Yeah, front row setup. Could potentially be.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
Any sheiks out there want to
invite us?
Invite us over. Well, they've also got like I think I was reading the infrastructure upgrades, 2.5 kilometers, I want to say, of debris fencing. Like,
wow.
Which means they've changed all of that. So it's not like fencing now that fans can actually see through it now.
Yeah.
It doesn't obscure any view.
Oh.
Yeah. So it makes it all different but keeps them safe.
What have they made it with? Like glass?
I don't yeah.
Like
unbreakable glass.
Polycarbon or something?
I don't know the specifics of it, but to be able to allow that upgraded infrastructure and safety and knowing that the fans are still safe, that nothing can happen to them, they can watch it from the right distance. I think it's going to be incredible.
Yeah. Lots of money.
Especially because, well, it's a night race as
yeah.
well.
And as we've mentioned, it's a sprint.
And a sprint. It's going to be very, very hot.
Yeah.
Hitting 40 degrees at the moment in the middle of the day.
Gosh.
I don't know what nighttime's hitting, but it will be still warm.
I don't know why they've put it at the beginning of October, because October is still very hot in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Like, surely they could have flipped it around with one of the
Well, it was at the end of the season in 2021, so.
And also, I know that they have their way of doing things, but it would make much more sense having it closer to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, it would.
But I guess they're having the second last race in Las Vegas.
I think it's because they've gone from Singapore to Japan. They're not going to Europe, and then they go to the States. I don't know. Yeah, no. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I don't know what their thinking is on that, but it's going to be very hot. Like,
yeah.
Do you
it's
really?
going to be boiling. Like, it definitely makes sense having, because then we have Austin, Mexico, Brazil, Las Vegas. That all makes sense because logistically they are all quite close. It's just, Qatar's a bit of a spanner, and it's going to be really hot.
Well, also because of the sprint, they've got less practice time to work out this new track as well, which has had improvements on the curbs and all of that as well. So there will be less floor damage. They've got, this is pretty much a whole new track for everyone, which is kind of what's exciting about it, right? And having a sprint there, not being able to work it out, they're going to have to go gun-ho all weekend.
Yeah, it's going to show the strength of the drivers, who's really going to who can really perform.
It's also Max's opportunity to secure third world title.
Yes,
in Qatar this weekend.
I can't remember. Did we end up writing down what were the things that had to happen or not happen for him to become?
We did, but that was for, I think, Singapore. For him to get it in Singapore, and then he didn't get it.
Yeah.
Red Bull just, But then they won the Constructors' Championship in Japan 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Which feels like last week.
I know it does.
I don't know. I can't work out how
It does feel like last week.
where that feels. But last year's winner was Lewis.
Sorry,
saying
the
last
year,
year.
2021.
2021. Last Qatar and only Qatar race.
Was Lewis?
Yeah.
And then Max.
And then Max. And then Fernando. He
Alonso.
came in third behind there. So I think Max will be out for blood on this one.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that I think Max is going to win the rest of the year, to be honest. Are we jumping into predictions? Because I'll say mine.
Yeah, go for it. I want to hear what you're thinking.
Well,
I feel like I haven't heard your prediction ages.
I
so
know!
I'm sitting looking at you, be like, yes, tell me.
Well, I think it's quite a high speed track, so I actually think McLaren will do really well. But especially considering that Hamilton, although the track has changed, considering Hamilton won last time, I would love Hamilton to. I'm thinking I'm hoping it's Verstappen, Hamilton, Piastri.
Oh.
Yeah.
Can I just ask, you think that though Ferrari does also well when they've had a break?
Yeah, that too.
Or are you just not saying Ferrari because it's Ferrari?
I don't know, because do you know what? I'm feeling a bit I don't know if I should give light to this, but remember when, was it you or Amy after Singapore that said, oh, I think that maybe it was rigged? Because remember they were interviewing them?
Yeah, yes.
And then, oh, did I say this on the last podcast?
No.
Did I not?
No, I think Amy said that they were.
I can't remember if I spoke about this, but
just for context, everyone, if you haven't listened to that episode,
it was
the Ferrari boys were being featured the most before
practice.
Before practice. Like it just was them, and the conspiracy theory is that it was rigged for them.
Yeah, because I initially was like, well, of course they were being featured because they did so well in practice. But then Amy was like, no, like before practice. I was like, okay. But so when I was in Sardinia and we were leaving Calagonone to go to Villa Simias, it was the day of Japan GP, and you and I had spoken, or the three of us had spoken whilst I sadly wasn't there watching with you guys. And then later on that day, the man at the hotel was rewatching the race, and then I was speaking to him about it, the owner of the hotel. And I was saying, oh, yeah, not a great race for Ferrari, but at least last week they did well. And he was like, oh, yeah. And then he's like, although, I don't know. He said, I think something was rigged. But it was like Peter and I were leaving. We're sort of having I was having general chit chat with him. And yeah, he said, I don't know. I think something was rigged. And I was like, afterwards, I was like, why didn't I speak to him about this more?
It's because you're in the moment. It's one of those things you think about afterwards.
And also because I don't want to believe it. But
I know. I don't think any of us want to believe it because we just want it to be on a sport. But I think all sports are going to always have some sort of element of rigging, and they always come out years after.
Yes.
And that's what makes it interesting.
Like the
like the 2008 Crashgate situation. Who knows?
Who knows?
But who knows what happened? Maybe it was just an absolute coincidence.
It could have been. It could have been an absolute coincidence.
But conspiracy theories are fun.
They are fun. But yes, I get so. But circling back, would be great to see a Ferrari on the podium. But I'm, especially after what we spoke about before, I really want Hamilton to come second now in drivers. So I think he's my man for the rest of the year. Yeah. What about you?
I like that. I think.
What are you thinking?
I know I actually said before I think Max is going to go in gun-ho on this race. I think he is going to get some sort of technical difficulty or a penalty, which will send him back.
Yep.
And then the three on the podium, so it won't be Max.
Technical difficulty.
Yeah. Something might happen with his car. Maybe I'm rigging this.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm
You're like, ooh.
Puppet master here for Red Bull. And I think he'll just get exhausted from the sprint and all of that sort of stuff. And then on the podium, I see Lewis amongst a papaya sandwich. So Oscar and Lando back up there as well.
Papaya sandwich would be nice.
With contest from Fernando. I think he'll try come back. But also there's a big fat long straight on this one.
Yes.
And we know Williams, Alex can push that car on a straight.
True.
So I can see him in the top 6. And I think he'll be pushing to be up there.
I would love to see him.
I reckon he and George will be fighting for the race. That would be interesting to see. Yeah. That's what I want. And
Liam in points.
Yeah, Liam in points. I want Liam in points. That's like my biggest care about. I don't know why. I'm just like Liam in points.
Yeah, Liam always.
And then
points.
Oscar on the podium, if possible, because I'm number one fangirl now. But bottom of the grid, who's got the wooden spoon?
Logan. Does the wooden spoon mean the worst?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yep. The worst.
Logan.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're not wrong. Or it could be a Haas.
Or a Haas.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. It's not their kind of track.
Well, Williams, I think, will definitely be, I know Logan is a contender for the wooden spoon, but I think they'll also be in full force having that double DNF in Japan. God, you got to make up for that.
Yeah, there's some questionable behaviour happening there.
We haven't discussed what we think will happen with the Alpines.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think is happening there?
Well, Pierre Gasly. Hopefully he's a bit happier this weekend. They came into my brain for 1 second and then they exited.
After his double finger.
Oh God. Like talk
The
about
best.
a hissy fit.
You got to have one.
Yeah.
You got to have one. I am now a strong believer if you don't have a hissy fit at work every 6 to 8 weeks, you're not working properly. I think that's my situation.
Yeah, but the way he did, really? No.
I don't know. I can so see someone doing a double finger at work.
Well, because I was going to
Just being
say, yeah. I was going to say it would be really nice to have Alpine in double points, but I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
There's a lot of drama going on there.
Drama.
Yeah.
I reckon there will be some drama though this weekend. That is my singing for you.
Yeah, it's kind of tricky with Qatar because we've only, when you sort of look back historically, there's not a lot of history.
No, there's not.
One race.
And I don't even think there is a lap record recorded as well because the track has had some changes.
Oh, yeah, true.
So we're kind of almost starting fresh.
Yeah, going into a complete new
which is
track.
also exciting. But then that's why I think with the combination of the heat, night, and new track, that's why I think Max is gonna.
I was just thinking because
Although I'm probably going to be wrong about that.
maybe. I know there's a lot of excitement about the paddocks and everything, but maybe Qatar can be replaced with Athens. When we were trying to figure out a place to replace, maybe Qatar can.
Not a bad thinking.
Yeah. But yeah, and I think it'll be good as well that we've got the sprint back and time will tell.
Time will tell. Watching on Australia.
We didn't speak about points, sprint predictions.
Oh, now you're pushing me.
Yeah.
Similar outcome.
Similar outcome, yeah.
I think it's going to be similar outcome.
Similar outcome.
Yeah, I think Alex Albon will probably be on the podium.
Oh, that would be
in the
so
sprint.
nice.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Getting a little plaque. Be pretty nice if Liam did really well in the sprint as well. This is his first sprint as well.
Is it? When was the last sprint? The last sprint was in Belgium. So, yes.
Yeah, so it's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah. All right, well, Pat's yawning, so we better get out of
I'm
her.
sorry. I'm so sorry,
She's got
guys.
jet lag.
But what about our...
She needs a coffee.
We can't forget our audience questions.
Oh my God. I completely forgot.
At least they're funny and they'll keep me up.
I don't know how funny these ones are compared to last week, but look, we'll give it a go. So, by the way, did you enjoy our F1 pickup lines?
Oh wow, they were intense. the purple sector one.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a lot.
I love that it's still coming through as well. All right, so we've got a couple of questions here. First one, what are Red Bull looking for in a second driver if Perez isn't the one? I reckon marketing.
Yeah, what we answered before.
Yeah.
Marketability.
Yeah, they want to smile.
Oh, even though
Checo is very marketable and he's got a huge fan base.
He does have a huge fan base. But at the same time, Christian Horner's just hungry to win and he wants to win all the time.
Yeah, but I also think they're happy to do that if they've just got Max.
Yeah. I just think as well, it's like he'll have, hypothetically they get Danny. He jumps in. Yeah, he's provides a lot of fandom and a lot of excitement. And if he's winning, then that's fantastic. But maybe Christian will hit a point where he starts seeing other drivers and other teams doing really well. And I think he has his eye on Oscar. And then there'll come a point where there'll come a point where he'll say, actually, no, I want ones and twos. I want ones and twos all year. First place, second place.
All right, next question. Thoughts on McLaren's incredible turnaround this season? I think it's amazing.
Yeah, no, I mean they weren't doing that bad at the
wasn't
beginning
that
of the
badly,
year.
except they've definitely stepped it up a notch. To have little coffee over here. To have the ability to improve the car so much, to have that extra mile.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Oscar is an amazing driver, but that car's definitely helped out.
Yeah,
I think they're going to go far
Yeah, and I think,
think-
like we mentioned a couple of episodes ago, McLaren's invested a lot in, I mean, across the whole business, but like in particular the engineering department, and adjustments to the car, and we spoke about how they've got a new factory, so it's showing. Like all of that is showing, and
go there. I'm here for it.
yeah, so am I. I'm really happy. I'm happy to see it, and it's great to see Oscar do well. And turnaround wise, I mean, I don't think they were doing that badly at the beginning of the year.
No. Yeah, the
But-
turnaround. Now this is kind of like a statement and question. Why is everyone obsessed with Danny Rick? He's cool, but he doesn't really do it for me.
Go back to episode 1 and you will hear my same judgment.
As in episode 1 of the podcast, not Drive to Survive. Because I
Yeah.
know there's so many people being like, Daniel was great in episode 1 of Drive to Survive because it was also Melbourne's was the starting of the season.
No, episode 1 of Paddock 43. the
Yeah.
podcast.
Pat isn't like the biggest fan, very un-Australian, and it's actually funny. Some people have been like, she's obviously not Australian if she said that in my very bogan accent, saying, I know.
No, I like him, but yeah, I kind of understand what she says. Is also not everyone's going to like everyone, But then it's funny because watching that Western Australia ad, I'm like, wow, he is just
I know,
great
especially
guy.
after all the nice things that you were
He's a
saying
great guy.
about
Good
him.
on him. Isn't it great to see him? But I think he does maybe rub people up the wrong way. My controversial opinion was sort of similar. It's just that I think people swoon over him and are obsessed with him. And
Yeah. And I think it has a lot to do with the smile because he just comes off friendly.
yes. And maybe the person that wrote this in is seeing past that and just seeing his race results in the last couple of years and being like, he's no good. I don't know.
I think her profile's on private, so I'll have to have a stalk of you later.
And maybe
Anyway.
she can provide us with some more
Yes.
precise, like,
Context and
yeah,
what she's thinking.
context. Yeah.
Also, a question more for us. When can we get full video versions of the podcast?
It's
Is this something that you'd want, lovely listener?
no, it's something that's in motion.
In motion. It's happening.
It's coming.
If anyone's got some stellar connections for editing as well, wants to help out.
The YouTube is coming.
It'll happen. It'll happen. Hopefully before the end of the season.
Yeah, I think we were just sort of waiting for me to get back.
It was a bit hard just to do it with Pat away. Didn't really quite work as well,
Yeah,
but it'll happen. You'll see our lovely faces there.
absolutely. You're going to get sick of our faces.
Yeah, no. Going to be the way too much. Now, I did also ask, what was the funniest favorite F1 moment so far this season, but I have realized there's been like a error uploading that, so that's
Oh, damn.
it uploaded it late. But someone has just submitted something.
Yep.
Debris up ahead. Debris.
That was great.
Not wrong.
Not wrong at all. The breeze up ahead.
That was a good one. All right. Well, I think that's all we have
think
time
that
for.
is
I think
all
we've
we have time
chewed
for.
your bloody ears off.
I think so. Amy, we missed you.
We miss you very much. But Amy is still here in presence because she has edited this episode. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Amy.
We thank you in advance. And if you have liked the episode, please make sure that you subscribe and leave us a little review. And
Please.
you can find our socials in the show notes.
Yes, and if you have any questions or want to keep the conversation going, reach out to us.
Okay.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.